in the heart of Africa, in the dustiest zone of the Sahel, where sand slowly devours fertile soil. A revolution has begun, one no one dared even dream of. A country long forgotten by the world, worn down by gold mining and poverty, has suddenly risen up. But not with weapons. Here, the weapons are saplings. The President of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré, announced a historic initiative to plant 20 million trees. But this isn't just an ambitious ecological project. It's an act of resistance, a return of dignity, a cultural and medical revival. These aren't decorative trees. They are baobabs, moringas, nere trees, plants used for centuries in traditional medicine. Their leaves, bark, and fruits have long treated malaria, boosted immunity, and fought infections long before synthetic drugs existed. Today, Traoré isn't just returning trees to the land, he's returning the people of Burkina Faso to their roots, to knowledge, to the healing power of the earth, to self-reliance. In an era when Africa often depends on imported medicine and Western investments, Burkina Faso is beginning to rely on itself. This movement isn't born in offices or at international conferences. It begins in dusty villages on sun-cracked plains, where people plant hope with their own hands. School children, farmers, elders, even soldiers have all joined this new wave. Instead of slogans, shovels. Instead of promises, roots digging deep into parched soil. This is not politics, it's a grassroots movement. Every sapling planted is more than just oxygen. It's a statement. We are no longer victims of history. We are its authors. Traoré is not waiting for Western aid. He's not counting on climate funds. His message to the world is simple and firm. We don't need handouts. We need back what was taken from us. The initiative is not only about restoring soil, but also about creating jobs, strengthening healthcare and education. Already, villages that recently depended on humanitarian aid are harvesting nuts, fruits, and medicinal herbs. Women are forming cooperatives, producing shea butter and baobab powder. Youth find not just a calling, but income in ecology. Traoré's vision goes beyond trees. It includes expanding university programs in herbal medicine, working with local healers, and creating scientific labs to document traditional remedies. It's a fusion of ancient and modern. Burkina Faso is becoming a living pharmacy, where every leaf is a cure, every bush a source of life. This isn't just a green revolution. It's an attempt to heal a nation poor in resources, but rich in spirit. And most importantly, it's a bottom-up movement. No international corporation is behind it. No fancy logos on the seedlings. Just local hands, local knowledge, and unshakable faith that even the driest land can turn green again. Burkina Faso, once a symbol of decline, is becoming a symbol of rebirth. It all started with a single seed. But what grows from it could change not just the country, but the entire idea of development in Africa. When President Traoré promised 20 million trees, skeptics scoffed. They said the climate was too harsh, the people would tire, the desert would win. But they didn't expect the whole nation to rise behind these trees. Even the security forces were mobilized, not for war, but to protect the seedlings from illegal logging and vandalism. Today, justice in Burkina Faso doesn't wear a robe. It holds a shovel. With each day, the trees become symbols of a new national identity. But the most surprising twist? The youth. Instead of fleeing to Europe or big cities in search of jobs, thousands of young Burkinabés stayed. They became a green army. These young men and women formed reforestation brigades, launched social media campaigns, and turned simple greening into a movement. They plant trees, care for them, teach others. And this is no longer a government program. It's their personal mission. Ibrahim Traoré isn't watching from afar. He walks with them across scorched earth and dusty paths. His government turns schools into eco-labs, launches rural internships, rewards student-led greening projects. Even hip-hop artists now rap about biodiversity and medicinal plants. Trees are becoming part of the culture in Burkina Faso. They're now a symbol of pride. And this isn't just a fight for ecology, it's a fight for the nation. While other governments talk about climate goals and do nothing, Traoré acts. While the world drowns in reports and summits, Burkina Faso digs and plants the future. While some count carbon emissions, here they grow carbon sinks. Critics call it populism, but look deeper and you'll see a calculated strategy. This isn't charity, it's reclaiming control. Lifeless lands yield crops again. Villages, once abandoned out of despair, now echo with children's laughter. Mothers walk with their kids through rows of young trees. Elders remember what the land once was. Children draw not guns in their notebooks, but trees. Yes, the world applauds. The media call it a green miracle, a climate triumph. But Traoré didn't start this for applause. He doesn't seek Western approval. He plants for the future, for peace, for independence. This movement was born not in conference halls, but in dusty fields. And even if the world turns its back, he still has faith, the land, and roots growing deep. Traoré isn't just fighting the desert. He's building a new nation, strong, green, and rooted. And those who once believed Burkina Faso had no future now watch it slowly rise from the ground, leaf by leaf, branch by branch. Those who thought tree planting was just a feel-good gesture missed the point. Traoré has turned them into strategic weapons, but not against foreign enemies, against poverty, hunger, and fear. In a region where extremist groups recruit youth out of desperation, trees have become a shield. While others build walls, Traoré plants forests. Because when the land is fertile, people stay. When the youth have purpose, they don't pick up weapons. When trees bring shade and water, stability follows. This is no metaphor. The army of Burkina Faso now protects not just borders, but seedlings. Soldiers are being retrained as eco-guardians. Local militias become defenders of ecosystems. It's a mental revolution, from defense to creation. And it's working. Villages abandoned in the midst of violence begin to breathe again. Families return. Harvests grow. All thanks to trees. Forests become not just the lungs of the planet, but barriers against chaos. The most surprising change is in people's minds. Just yesterday, they left to survive. Today, they stay to build. Traoré has changed not just the landscape, but the mindset. And now, even those who once considered joining armed groups are planting baobabs instead. Now imagine, in a country ruled for decades by corruption and poverty, not just a leader, but a strategist has emerged. Traoré is already preparing the second phase. His goal, not 20, but 100 million trees by 2030. Not just to restore land, but to make Burkina Faso the green lungs of West Africa. And this isn't a dream. The work has already begun. Seed banks are expanding, rainwater collection systems are being implemented, and new generations of foresters and agro-experts are being trained. Universities are becoming strongholds of knowledge, and schools are introducing classes on ecological thinking. Technologies for monitoring tree growth are developing. This is no longer just a campaign. It's a new form of ecological governance. And all of this is happening in a country once called empty and forgotten. But the twist that shocked even Traoré's allies was the idea of a transboundary green alliance. Burkina Faso began talks with Mali, Niger, and Ghana to create a regional reforestation pact. For the first time in history, Africa is not merely participating in external projects, it is proposing its own. An initiative born on dried-out land could change the entire continent. While major powers chase green investments, Traoré is building green independence. His goal is not just to reforest the land, but to build an economy based on regeneration, not extraction. He dreams of a pharmaceutical industry based on local plants, rural cooperatives managing carbon markets, and replacing gold with green wealth. And here lies the real twist. A country once deemed poor is becoming a source of knowledge, resources, and inspiration. While others debate climate change, here they're already fighting it. Every planted sapling is part of a great transformation that goes beyond national borders. What started as a modest tree planting initiative has become a source of a new kind of economy. Yes, the trees gave shade, food, and water, but they also gave people jobs, purpose, and pride. Today in Burkina Faso, the Green Revolution has become a full-blown job factory. From seed collectors to agronomists, from organic cosmetics producers to eco-monitors, thousands of people have found work, income, and respect, not just in cities, but especially in villages. There, women formed cooperatives producing shea and moringa oils. Youth are developing mobile apps to track tree growth and carbon capture. Local artisans are creating goods from forest byproducts. An economy built on deforestation is being replaced by one of regeneration. But behind this success came an unexpected conflict. When local communities realized that trees could bring profit, disputes flared. Who owns the forests? Who controls the resources? That's when Traoré made a bold move. He transferred the rights to the trees and land to the people themselves. It was a shock. Until then, forests were state-controlled, often involving foreign companies. Now, power returned to those who actually plant and care for the land. This wasn't just social justice. It was a revolution in the country's economic model. The world watched, some with admiration, others with concern, because it was a clear signal. Burkina Faso is no longer playing by old rules. It's creating new ones. While other countries talk about fair resource distribution, here it's already happening. People themselves decide how to use the trees, how to divide profits, how to preserve ecosystems. It's democracy at the roots, true popular governance. But the story doesn't end there. A new threat emerged: illegal logging. Green gold began to attract criminal elements. There were incidents of sabotage, arson, and attempts to bribe activists. Then President Traoré took another unexpected step. He created the Forest Guard, not as part of the police, but as an independent, grassroots organization. It includes local residents, farmers, teachers, even elders. Their mission is to protect the forests as if they were their own homes. They patrol, conduct raids, educate. Some compare them to a resistance movement, only now they fight not with weapons, but with fire extinguishers and cameras. They document violations, report to journalists, and most importantly, they remind everyone that the forest is not just a resource. It's part of their identity. This shift became a powerful symbol of the entire campaign. Trees are not just sources of food and income. They've become symbols of dignity. People feel that they are no longer pawns in someone else's geopolitical game. They are masters of their land. And that's the true meaning of this initiative. Not only restoring nature, but also restoring self-worth. If anyone thought this was just a short-term project, they were wrong. When children start drawing trees instead of tanks, when elders tell folk tales about their forests, it means the country is truly changing. Not from the top down, but from the inside out. When Traoré declared that 20 million trees were just the beginning, many thought he was bluffing. But it wasn't a slogan, it was the start of a new chapter. He is already working on the next phase, planting 100 million trees by 2030. It's not just a number, it's an ambition to turn Burkina Faso into the green lungs of West Africa. And what's surprising, neighboring countries are joining the movement. Mali and Ghana has begun negotiations to create a regional alliance for land restoration. But the most powerful twist is how ecology has become national ideology. For the first time in the country's history, green isn't just a symbol of hope, it's a symbol of power. School curricula now include agroforestry classes. Universities are opening departments of green diplomacy, and Traoré is preparing a new generation of leaders, not politicians, but defenders of the land. Those who once dreamed of leaving now see their future here. Imagine a country once considered poor and resourceless becomes an exporter, not of raw materials, but of knowledge. Local universities are collaborating with international institutes. Experts in medicinal plants from Burkina Faso are lecturing in Europe. Pharmaceutical companies are signing contracts to process moringa and nair. Amid all this success, the government takes another leap, creating an ecological investment fund managed by rural cooperatives. Now, money from carbon markets, ecotourism, and plant products stays in the country. No more capital flight, no more foreign middlemen. This is real economic sovereignty. Everything that grows from the soil belongs to those who save it. The climax came when Traoré declared, "We are no longer asking for help, we are offering solutions." At climate summits where Burkina Faso once sat at the back, now Western delegations come to them. The West has the tech, but Burkina Faso has the model. Because they've shown the world, sustainability isn't born of grants, but of roots. People connected to the land don't fear the future, they build it. Today, green marches take place across the country. Children hold signs, "My tree, my pride." Women sing traditional psalms in the shade of moringas. War veterans plant saplings beside memorials. There's something more than ecology here. It's healing after years of violence, poverty, and dependence. The country finally feels its strength. Not the strength of arms, but the strength of life. While the world chokes on emissions and climate failures, Burkina Faso breathes, leaf by leaf, forest by forest, and this breath is spreading across the continent. Because now, Africa is not just suffering from climate change. It's showing how to fight it. Not with words, but with shovels and belief. And if one of the world's most forgotten nations can turn dust into hope, then hope can grow anywhere. Because every great thing starts small, with a single seed.